You know, it could be a good time though, Mike. I know we've been on
yeah.
this article for a little bit. Hey, gotta move on. I'm saying.
Microsoft giving up all IP access.
That's not right.
Let's
About
go.
right. This is basically Microsoft saying we do not care anymore.
Yep.
As long as we get our bread, you can have everything else. We don't care. You can take the crumbs, we get the bread. That kind of thing.
Hey.
So, Game Industry Biz over here coming out with another fire article. We got Sophia McAvoy. It's got to be McAvoy because there's no A. Hopefully the Irish in me helps out there. The title of the article is Microsoft reportedly bringing Indiana Jones and Starfield, one of the biggest IPs that they've recently launched, to PS5 and Switch. Wild. So there is a quick update to this article, and it says Phil Spencer announces a business update planned for next week following reports that major Xbox releases may become cross-platform. Very intriguing. Very intriguing indeed. So, according to The Verge, the games firm is weighing up which of its first-party titles remain exclusive to Xbox, as well as those that could become available to PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch. It's kind of crazy just to even... Like, this would never happen, like, 2 years ago. Maybe 5 years ago. You know what's even wild? Sony's been battling the acquisition of Xbox acquiring Activision Blizzard to the point that they were like suing them constantly, saying like they would never have access to Call of Duty. It goes through, and now there's rumors like, oh yeah, you can just have all the IPs on our console now. That's kind of crazy.
That's kind of nuts. Yeah, that's kind of wild when you put it that way.
Yeah. So Bethesda's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle unveiled last month, and already one of the Xbox's biggest exclusive releases for 2024, is chief among the games being considered. Starfield has been hinted as another possibility by Xbox Era, with a source suggesting that the Bethesda title could launch on PlayStation 5 following the release of the upcoming Shattered Space expansion. Hi-Fi Rush may also be headed to PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch following the discovery of data mined assets shared on X by The Verge's Tom Warren. That one I kind of hope. Hi-Fi Rush is a fantastic game, and I think more people need to play it just in general. Can't be gatekeeping, you know? Looking at you, PlayStation, and God of War. Now, update.
The first one's on PC, baby. You gotta give them credit. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
Let's bring the second one on PC.
Yeah, then they saw how successful it was, and they're like, oh, no, you need a console for this, baby.
They'd be like, we'll delay it 2 years. You'll get it in 2026. All right.
Dude, gatekeeping your IPs is like being an Apple user, always upset that somebody in your group chat has green text. It's that level of like, what do you... It doesn't matter, bro. Just allow it for everybody. That's all you need. There was an update to this small little article on February 6th, which was, Tuesday? Following the ongoing conversation around whether Microsoft will be releasing some of its biggest first-party exclusive on other platforms, Xbox Phil Spencer said there will be a business update this next week. And he continued on social media saying, we are listening and we hear you. We've been planning a business update event for next week, where we look forward to sharing more details with you about our vision for the future of Xbox. Stay tuned. So what do you think the future of Xbox is going to entail, Kyle?
You know this thing called Game Pass, right?
Yeah, sometimes people call it the ultimate Game Pass. Yeah.
We take that. This is Game Pass. Yeah. We make it this. Yeah. And then we make it this.
Oh.
And then we say, okay, here's an entire library. PS5. There you go. Sony. Here you go. Have some of these games. You know, so, you know, I mean, there's rumors that Halo might go to. I was gonna say like we keep Halo, but no, they're probably gonna throw Halo.
They're 100% getting rid of that. Yeah,
like 100%. I mean, it's just like here's a subscription model. This is kind of the future at this point. It's just kind of, you know, you're not paying huge. You're not paying $60-$70 price tags for new games anymore. It's just included in your recurring subscription. We get 120. Who am I kidding? They're getting like almost 200 plus a year off these people with Game Pass Ultimate subs.
Oh, yeah.
You're just rolling that in. We'll give you other services. We're likely going to increase the price of it at some point, but hey, you can, you know, if you have a PlayStation 5, don't you check out some of these titles? You know, we kind of cook up on the shooter department. You know what I'm saying? Over here at Xbox, I mean,
they do well.
Have some of these shooters. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like Game Pass is gonna get bigger. We're gonna get to a point where you're playing all sorts of games on all sorts of different hardware, and it's gonna be more so like that's Sony's gonna embrace a model similar to that at some point where it's gonna be more expanded, and then it's just gonna be like when I think an ideal world would be like everyone has their own kind of subscription service and you can kind of play it wherever, but for whatever reason companies would still be encouraged to make like dedicated consoles so you can play the different games on it. But it's also just like at one point we're just making PCs, like what's going on here kind of thing. So I don't know, it's weird in the hardware department, but yeah, dude, everyone's gonna be playing Halo on a DualSense, and I don't know, it's gonna be kind of wild when you think about it.
Welcome to the club, then. That's what I'll tell them. Been over here for years, baby.
Yeah, dude, I think it's crazy.
Yeah, I think we're getting into the era of. I mean, we've been kind of transitioning for a long time. I think it initially started with the success of Netflix, and then it's like Netflix. It's always like there's a trendsetter, in terms of media consumption. It's like Facebook, MySpace came out initially, which was supposed to be a music sharing app. And then LimeWire was also a thing, and then it's like, okay, well, they need to make royalties, so then they switch over to a different platform. I think Pandora actually came out before Spotify, but it's like you see how it's like Pandora's kind of archaic now. I mean, Last FM was there too, but it just keeps going up and up and up of just what's the newest thing that people love. And the similar thing happened with Netflix. With like Netflix came out, and then all of a sudden everybody's got a freaking streaming app now.
Yeah.
Xbox, I think, is just basically took the Blockbuster meta of being a Blockbuster member, like a librarian having a library card, going in there and just renting a couple of stuff and then bringing it back. It's like, that's nuts. It's such a good idea in terms of a business acquisition. And now they're at the point where they're just probably killing it monthly. And they're just like, dude, our like console sales are maybe like 10% of what they make on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
Like, how many consoles do you think they sell a month compared to how much money they're making per subscription?
It's crazy to think about, but yeah, probably. I mean, what's nice about the subscription is just like it's guaranteed income, pretty much, right? Like,
yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
That's the idea. So I think
continual.
I think they don't even care about the IPs anymore. I don't think they've cared a long time about their console sales. I think for the last like 4 years, they never cared about their console sales. They barely care about the controllers. That's why they ship out so crappy and they break in 2 months.
Yeah.
Who cares? Like, let's just get them on Game Pass. and now they're just like, you know what? They can have all the IPs. Let's put it on PlayStation because that's a whole other market that's never used an Xbox before.
Yeah.
There are tons of people, kids, younger generation that we just covered in the last article, probably have never used or played on an Xbox before. I would imagine more kids right now want PlayStation than they do Xbox. Right?
Yeah.
It used to be the opposite. Everybody wanted Halo. And it also had Call of Duty. It also had Gears.
Yeah. And it also like kind of seemed like it was, had just better games and just ran a little bit better, kind of maybe. But yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it's just they're just selling the subscription now. I think. I think it's kind of a shame because I like to have the hard copies, but
that's what I'm saying, man. Like I don't know. The more I kind of dive into it and realize, kind of, especially get into the retro stuff and kind of, I don't know. It's just part of me getting older too. But it's like, yeah, it's like now that I see the digital only, it's like I used to be like, oh yeah, perfect, less physical crap. I'm like sure, but now it's just like. You get into the politics of you don't actually own anything, so it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I just kind of physical's nice, I'm starting to lean in that camp a little bit more. I think. It's kind of this is totally unrelated, but I think I saw today like Funimation, like this is like anime, but like Funimation is shutting down, and Crunchyroll like bought them out a couple years ago. But I think somewhere in like the article talking about the notes is that the digital stuff you purchased on Funimation, whether it was like shows and stuff like that, actually won't carry over. So it's like,
that's
are you actually just screwed?
Wild.
Like you bought all that stuff and now it's just not like you. What the heck?
Yeah.
Like you just buy all that stuff and then it's just like, oh, by the way, here's a reminder that you don't own it. So we're just gonna not transfer it.
You bought the right to watch it for an extended period of time.
Yep,
That's basically what it is.
You bought the license and we can't transfer it, so GG.
Yeah.
It's just wild, man.
Yeah, we're eventually going to get into a situation where, I mean, already it's working for Nintendo because they're suing people over it, but modifying games, like, at what point does that become, like, dismantling or, like, destroying property, private property, you know? Because it's like, you don't know the game. Who owns the game? Well, who has the property rights? And then copyright rights, and it's a little bit redundant, but who owns the copyright? Then if you dismantle it or disfigure it, it's like, is that insulting? Like, how far does it go? We just don't own anything. We're subscribed to every single subservice or subscription service, and we're constantly feeding into it.
Yeah,
wild.
It is wild to think about, and especially in the music industry too, like Spotify and everything. Like I really thought about it the other day. I'm like, because I didn't think about it until I saw a video of like, it's like, oh wait, you don't own any of this music. You're just you have a
borrowing
key to listen to it, and then that's it. I mean, you're not, you don't actually keep it, and it's just like, dang, it's wild, man. Subscription model, man, it's taking over.
There are trade-offs. I think there are trade-offs because I have tons of movies like VHS, dude. Like, people think like VHS was great, but it was a pain to carry that stuff around when you had to move. It's like carrying, like, it's just weird. It's just really weird because I don't think there's any medium of like interaction that you can have with these electronic, like, modern technology, like movies and TV shows, music, video games. But I think one form of medium that, like, won't go away might be books, because there's not everybody kind of understands that feeling of like opening up a book for the first time and spreading it open, breaking the spine. You hear it crack, you feel how crisp the paper is, and you can smell the new paper. It's like, you don't get that when you open up a DVD.
It's true, man.
Like, you don't get it.
I started getting books last year. It's like, it's nice. I don't know. I prefer like reading the book over like a tablet. For me, I just feel like it's better. But then again, when you're reading in the dark, that's like thing that sucks the most, because like, if you have a tablet, you read wherever. Definitely trade-offs, but I don't know, I like having the physical book.
It's gonna be very odd when it's like you try to go meet people that created the game and you're very excited, you want to get autographs. What are they gonna sign? A poster? I guess.
That's so true.
I want them to sign the game, maybe a controller, because you're not really gonna get rid of the controller.
That's true. That'll work. I don't know.
I think eventually we're going to get to the point where everything's going to be open source. Everybody's going to have like a 3D printer, and they can just start making their own hardware.
That'd be kind of wild. Just buying parts cheap. That'd be kind of crazy. It's like, here you go. Here's a guide on how to make your controller.
Yeah, 100% Lego style.
DIY. It'd be kind of sick.
Yeah. Thank you for watching the M2 podcast. If you'd like to see the full unedited version of the last episode you just saw, check the description below. Remember to like and subscribe. Take it easy.